Now, some of the geopolitical risks might have to do with this backlash against globalization, this populist rise, but that's a slow motion phenomenon, has to materialize in a significant way. And in the case of the US, I would say certain the risks are coming from some of the policies of the Trump administration, and the biggest one that might have an impact, of course, on global markets, more than excessive tax cuts, more than restriction of migration, is protectionism. Until now, the view was that these restrictions to trades are going to be limited because the system is controlling those protectionist pressures, and the advisors of Trump are divided between those who are more open and more protectionist. There is now this rising risk that maybe NAFTA might be on a collision course. If that were to materialize as a risk, I would worry then that the shock, not just for Mexico, but Latin America and emerging markets, would be significant. I'm still of the view that the US will be very stupid to pull out of NAFTA because then you get AMLO in power in Mexico and you have a leftist populist in power south of your border. So I think that cooler minds should be realizing that you can posture along those lines, but that's not something sensible to do. Now, what could go wrong? Many things can go wrong in terms of tail risks that can derail emerging market flows. I would say from the US side point of view, if the tax cuts become excessive, $1 trillion is baked in the markets and the market can digest it. But if it was more like $2 trillion or $2.5 trillion, then I think that you have a situation in which, one, long rates go higher, two, the dollar goes higher, and then you have the concerns of yuan. Three, since we're at full employment, the Fed does not believe that the potential growth of the US is 3+, then the Fed will have to hike faster, sooner, and more than otherwise. And that combination of excessive fiscal stimulus in an economy in full employment, together with Fed tightening sooner, can lead then both the dollar and long rates going higher. That's a pressure on emerging market. And then an administration with a stronger dollar and higher long rates will have to become even more protectionist because the jobs and the incomes of those white blue collars who voted for Trump are at risk. And therefore, then you get also protectionism and then more restrictions to migration. So that could be the kind of a perfect storm that you might have to worry about. It's not my baseline, but that's something that you have to think about and worry about, given the incompetence and some of the recklessness that we see right now in Washington.